What up, everyone? Welcome to Whiz&Wine. We are going to be sitting down with some of Philly's finest to discuss business, entrepreneurship, music in your case. So today, our inaugural guest is Frankie, aka Fish, who you're a self-proclaimed, what is it? Punk rockin', shit talking, family loving, friend making, entrepreneur fighting the good fight to make sure you don't end up broke.
There you go. All right, I'll be all those things.
Yeah, I'm a professional, that's all. Awesome. So I guess to get us started, I know you do financial advising. We all have at some point come to visit you, so
Sure.
we got a little bit of the gist of what you do, but for people who don't.
Okay, so I've always been like an industry guy. By industry I mean working in bars, restaurants, and the food service industry. So I had done that, and then I guess it's come up on 20 years ago when I met my wife and we got married. She had already had one child, it was 2, and we getting ready to have another, and I had to go out and get a quote unquote real job. So when I did, I got into like contracting because I had done some of that stuff, and I promptly hated it immediately. I really like, as far as being an entrepreneur, I'm a really good worker. I'll work 80 hours a week for myself, but if I have to work 40 hours a week for someone else, it kills me. So I did it, and I hated it. I started saving my money. My wife, we cut back. We did do a whole rice and beans thing for a long time, so I could kind of get in and start working with her. She's also an entrepreneur and has a graphic design firm. I joined her, and we started working in that arena and really built the company to be a success. Then we turned around in like 2008 and got hit really hard with the economy. So I was back in the bars and the restaurants, not just enjoying myself, but also working again. When I did that, I discovered that a lot of the people that I worked with had no type of savings, no type of anything set up. And when we had become successful, leading up to that point, my wife and I had done everything we thought we were supposed to do. We got life insurance, and we put money away for the kids for their college funds, and we opened retirement accounts for ourselves, but no one ever educated us on our stuff. We just had heard from other people that's what you're supposed to do. So when I had to go back, and we had blown through everything, and I had to look at, these people who were starting off, I kind of took a liking to it, and I said, I started talking to people, and it just ended up being an industry I ended up kind of by default getting into, and now my business has been focused around a lot of small businesses, especially restaurants, bars, a lot of these breweries that have popped up. I recently started working with some dispensaries.
That's awesome.
So it's areas where a lot of jobs will offer a 401k or a 403b or something of that sort, but those are really big group plans and they're expensive to companies. So what they can do is they can have me go in and talk with their people and kind of lay out how they can do it for themselves. And it doesn't cost the companies anything to educate their people. It just, but it gives them the opportunity that they can actually have more successful people. My theory being, as a business owner, if you educate people and they're better with their money, then they'll probably stick around, because most people leave a job because it's not necessarily because they don't make enough money. Sometimes it's because they aren't good with their money, because people tend to get a raise and their situation in life doesn't really change. You just tend to spend more money. So it's all about the education stuff. That's what I do now.
So I just said the other day, which is kind of off topic, but I said I would be totally fine with making $70K. Like I was like, that's like my sweet spot. And then John has said before, he's like, everybody, once they get more money, just starts spending more money. I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I could do it. But you're probably right. You're probably right. Have great intentions, but the second I get it, I'd be like, oh.
Well, what monetary figure, without getting crazy, does everyone typically think like someone that's successful is?
6 figures.
Yeah, that's it. $100,000. Like, people think if they can get that $100,000 mark, that they're fine. But I will tell you, from sitting down with lots and lots of different people, I meet people who make $30,000 a year, or either single or a couple, and don't have debt, and own a house, and drive a car and go on vacation. And I know people who might be in a relationship where they each make six figures, $100,000 a year, $200,000 combined, and they're in debt, and they have too big of a house, and they can't afford to go places, they can't afford to fix. So it's really more of a mindset, and that's why I like getting and starting off with people who are young, because it's very easy to treat your retirement like it's a bill, and you can just start putting away a little bit all the time. And people do it in spite, or people will wait and do it in spite of like paying off college and things of that sort, because it's the great American dream, isn't it, to be debt free? But being debt free doesn't do you any good. If you walk down to Lehigh Avenue and you went to K&A, there's a lot of people there that are completely debt free.
Yeah.
But their life sucks because they don't have anything saved and they don't have any plan.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where, $70,000, that's a nice salary, but as long as you live within those means, you can do very well.
Yeah, I'm one of those people, I'm married to a musician where like we can live on the bare minimum and be okay.
Yeah.
But it's just the student loan debt, and that's like one thing that I found really interesting when I met with you was like the whole debt stacking thing where you're like, hey Steph, you can pay off all your debt in 5 years. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not possible. So like it's really interesting to like hear, as me, someone who's just in crippling amounts of debt, to like hear, hey, you can do this. You just have to remember, just because you paid off this bill doesn't mean that you now have an extra $150 each month.
Yeah.
It means it should go toward your bill. So I think in that respect too, you get comfortable living within a certain budget.
In that same vein, one of the things that happens is when you do pay off, the reason why when I do the debt stacking thing, and we can get into that if you want, but we list the bills from lowest to highest. I tell people, forget about what your rate is, forget about all that stuff, because you can juggle those things all around, you can try to do it, but it's more about accomplishment. I mean, we do more when we get rewarded and accomplishment and everything else. And when you're stacking them from lowest to highest, what's happening is as you pay one off, you're starting to get excited, and then when you pay two off, because you're getting closer and closer to that, to where you want to be, and that's a very awesome place. Like when the people I work with get through their credit cards and maybe their school debt, and then they just have a house they're trying to pay off, it's amazing to them because they're going, holy crap. Then we talk about, and I teach them things like, if you put one extra payment every year on your house, one extra payment, you pay your house off in 7.5 years faster. So a 30-year loan with all that interest becomes, a 22.5-year loan, which is kind of cool. And then you own it. And when I think about it, like with my wife and myself, we've been in our house for maybe 13 years, and we've done the extra payment thing, so we don't have as much time, and now that we're getting ready to sell it, we have a lot more equity in our house than we would. So yeah, I think learning little things like that people don't talk about are very important. And people don't do it because people hate talking about money.
Yeah.
People who have lots of money don't want to let everyone know how much money they have, and people who don't have any money don't want to let people know how much money they have. So
I get it, because when I tried meeting with you and I was like, Kevin, come on, let's go, we're getting married, and he's like, no, I don't want to go. Fine, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I will say this too. It's kind of obvious, but no one's ever like come up at their retirement and be like, damn it, man, I wish I just wouldn't have saved so much money, or I wish this would have started early. It's typically not a thing that people say.
So while we're eating steaks, because I could literally talk about the steaks this entire time, we kind of wanted to talk about, we know it because we work for a small company, but like, it's really hard being an entrepreneur. Like, you have to sacrifice like a lot of stuff. So like, you talked a little bit about the sacrifices you guys had initially with the rice and beans and all that. So like, what type of obstacles did you have to overcome through this entire process?
Well, I think it's the same obstacles in most places that people have come. I think there's false senses of comfort in things too. Like, I hire people that work with me also, but it's strictly on a commission-only basis. So there's no guarantee, there's no baseline, there's none of that. But I always look at it like, is there really anything? You could quit what you're doing, go get a job at someplace that offers you twice as much money the next day, and then not have a job the following.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit of a false sense of security that we get. That being said, when when things are tight and things are tough, you're really looking to, you're looking for that, even if it's a false sense of security, you're looking for some type of security. I think the hardest thing has been, with my wife and myself, and I come across this when I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs. It's hard for people to give you a number. Like, if you work a job and you said $70,000 a year, it's hard to go to an entrepreneur and say, how much do you make a year? Because they're going, oh, I don't know. Because, I have this, but how much do I claim, and what do I put forth? And, I got the taxes, and sometimes if we close this deal, and we have a big year. So I think that's the uncertainty is really distracting to people. And everyone, once again, just wants to be happy. And you have the balance of life and work has never been a big problem for us. We've just kind of always incorporated, into that. I grew up, my father was a funeral director, and I grew up living in a funeral home. And I was telling someone this story the other night, and this goes back to, he was an entrepreneur, he had his own funeral home, and I can remember, we lived upstairs, so we had jobs, even as, the family was involved. So, my mother was a beautician, and she would do the hair and some of the makeup and so like, so it was very interesting. So I come from an entrepreneurial background, I guess. But and we kind of did the same thing with our kids. Now, we didn't have any dead bodies for the kids to help with the house, but we would have, like, my wife always, from the time she was like 5 or 6, when she would do something, she would ask her, like, what do you think of this? Like, what's this? Do you like it? And she would get very critical in a positive sense as she got older. She would, I don't know, I think tight faces, but to see it grow. So I think if you can incorporate as much of your life into your entrepreneurship, it makes a big difference. I think it's definitely important in my business because when it comes to financial services, people tend to do business with people they like and they trust. So I need to get people to like me and trust me before I do business with a lot of people.
All right,
And we're back.
As I clear the meat out of my teeth.
Yeah. So we had a chance to eat the cheesesteaks, and now, what did you guys think of them?
So I'm biased because Joe's is my second favorite steak. Wacky Wednesdays are the best because you go there. Yeah, you should go. You're close enough.
On Wacky Wednesday?
Yeah, you get a large steak. I think it's for half price.
Really?
Yeah.
You say it's your second favorite?
Yeah.
I thought this was your first favorite.
Yeah, but that donkey swooped in out of nowhere.
Sorry.
We can't go to another donkey's conversation yet.
So how about you?
I think they're good. I think that the bread to meat ratio is a little weak. I think there's a little too much bread.
Okay.
And I gotta say, it's not an Amoroso roll.
That's true.
It is close.
See, I feel
but
like
it's not an Amoroso roll, which is, to me, makes a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
So I feel like this cheesesteak is one of those, like, you've been binge drinking and you're starving and you want like a greasy, gross thing that's gonna make you feel like shit the next day.
Yeah.
That's Joe's steak. And I like that. Like, that's something that, like,
You've accepted that.
yeah, I like it.
See, that was always Jim's to me because they chop it up real fine and it's like in that tube. You can it's like and it's soggy enough that, like, the whole bun almost swoops around, so it's like eating a wrap almost. But it's a big cheesesteak wrap. It's pretty good. But the meat was good, the cheese was good, but I could have definitely done with a little less bun and a little bit more meat.
Okay, how about
Yeah.
you?
I thought it was good. Joe's is never like my favorite. It doesn't, I don't know, it's just not special to me.
It's a trash steak. You accept it for what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like I've had better cheesesteaks.
Fine. You're entitled to your own opinion.
I just feel like it's like boring. It's nothing to write home about.
Well, the good news is it's the first steak that we reviewed, so at least it'll be at the top of the leaderboard.
But it was good.
All right, so here comes the part that I'm most excited about
Okay.
because I love competition.
Okay.
So, what we're gonna do now is we have one red wine, one white wine.
Okay.
We only have one glass, so you need to finish all of this.
Okay, I can do that.
Love it. So we're going to taste the wines, and then we're gonna try to guess the region, the grape, and then even though it's no one's gonna guess it the year, like just for shits and gigs.
Okay.
Bonus if you can guess the winery.
Okay.
So we do not know what they are because I love wine and I would like to be in contention for winning. So
Okay.
we have a envelope that has the wine on it, and then we're gonna all guess.
Okay.
and see who wins.
I don't even know the types of wines.
Also,
I barely did.
everybody take sips and let it mull over for
Got
a little
nice
bit.
legs.
Got nice legs, and then we'll all consent or do a consensus. Consent's
Consent.
important.
Well,
It's an interesting flavor.
I gotta even know if I get the red or the white one. Is this Marlowe?
I don't know. I'm not sure
Well,
what I
what
think.
would be your guess?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
A Marlowe
It's
or...
very important to me to be right, so I'm trying to take my
So how long do you
time.
want to take here?
I usually get my wine in a bag.
That's the way to do it.
Right. Drink it
No,
out
we're
of a bag.
classy up in here. Wine down Thursdays.
I had a roommate who, when I was still dating, I had a roommate who, his parents were kind of wine snobs, so anytime I was going out on a date with a classy lady, I would ask him what type of wine I should get, and he would call his parents and they would give suggestions.
I love that.
So
So
I
you
think
should
I
have
did
some
it once, and I
background
just got the
on
same bottle every time.
Okay, so I have no idea. I thought I was going to be good at this game, and then I drank this wine, and now I'm clueless.
I'm guessing that this is a Marlowe. It's from Bucks County,
Bucksco.
and it is a 2016.
Wow. You sound so confident that now I'm unsure. How about you? You go.
Okay.
You go. I need more time.
Let's do Pinot Noir, 2018, California.
Pinot Noir.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just flying blind right
I just
now.
need to keep checking to make sure that it's.
I don't know anything about wine.
I'm going to say...
So I think you will do fine.
I also think it's a Pinot Noir.
So my palate is correct.
I could be very wrong. I drink, but like I don't drink good Pinot Noir. I only drink like that like shitty like out of the bag Pinot Noir.
Well, I know we're having a white. I'm guessing Riesling because that's like the only one that I know. So
Okay, I'm gonna say Pinot Noir. I'm gonna say California. And I'm gonna say.
Fuck you, I just did all that.
Wait, did you say California?
Yeah.
Oh, I zoned out. What year
No,
did
it's
you say?
fine. Choose it.
What's your year did you say?
2018.
Okay, then I'm not gonna guess that. I'm gonna say 2017. Oh, okay. It's a 2015 Cab Sauv, excuse me,
Sorry.
from Napa. So you and I both got a point.
California.
did I guess anything right?
No.
Oh.
You also said Merlot incorrectly. So you get
Well, Marlot, right?
Marlowe.
Marlowe.
Marlon.
She was married to Phil Donahue.
I feel like I'm too young for
you're
that
too young,
reference.
yeah.
I don't know. All right,
I
so
get
now I guess we gotta throw them back, and then I'm terrible with whites. Whoa! It's Thursday, people.
It's Thirsty
I
Thursday.
think it's
I-
Big Dick Day.
Oh! We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there.
Oh, that's good.
So I have to let you know a little background. I guess is that Fish is in a punk rock comedy band called Loaf Ass, and he has a song called Big Dick Day, and
It's a wonderful song.
I have actually played it for my family. Like, I have Alexa in the kitchen, and I'll be like, Alexa, play Big Dick Day. My parents are like, what's happening? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Just listen and enjoy.
I can tell you that song has been sung with a nun.
What?
I'm not even kidding.
Tell 'em more.
So when my best friend's brother was getting married, and his aunt is a nun, and we had the engagement, whatever it is, the dinner before you get married. We all went to that. We went back to the hotel because everyone was staying kind of close to where they were getting married. And Tommy, who's in my band, breaks out the guitar, and his brother knows the song really well. So he's singing it, and the family's all around, and the aunt, who's a nun, is there, and she's singing Big Dick Day with us. It was one of my shining, proud moments.
That's amazing.
She was cracking up.
God, that song gets stuck in your head, and it's just there. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it. What do you think?
You want me to guess?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a blush now.
I know,
Looking
it's
at
nice,
it,
yeah.
I'll do No white wines. I don't know any wines.
All right, just guess.
I'll do
whatever.
the only white wine I know is Pinot Grigio,
You're gonna keep going.
2013.
Oh, aged.
Let's do New York.
Wow, bold move. Okay, I'm gonna go Riesling 2016, and I'm gonna go France. I don't fucking know. All right.
I'm going Riesling. So I might
Bucks.
be on. I'm going to go Bucks County. This might be somewhere in Pennsylvania, and it is a 2017. I think I nailed it. Let's check.
It's a Sauvignon Blanc. Good job, everybody. 2013 France. Yes.
Oh, so you won. You got 2, 1,
man.
0. I got
Wow. I'm having a big dick day.
You really are.
So we're gonna ride that high out because we have now some questions for you. We're gonna do some rapid fire trivia.
You said we're going to get high now?
We could get high now, whatever you wanna do.
We know that you were in the German Society, so we want to quiz you on some German.
Bitte.
Oh, I don't know what that means. I'm gonna sit this one out because I can barely speak English, so.
Wie geht es Ihnen?
Eric Frankie. Oder Fisch.
What does it mean?
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't tell him what he was supposed to do. You're just speaking German.
okay.
What does that mean?
What is it?
Don't
Repeat,
know.
please. I'm sorry.
Don't.
I can't read in English either. so
Wie
it's
geht
okay.
es Ihnen?
How are you?
Ding, ding,
Boo,
ding.
we got one.
Okay. Wie heißen Sie?
What have you? What are you doing? What are you?
What's your name?
Das ist ein Name.
Wie heißen Sie?
Heißen Sie Name?
Hmm.
All right, that's okay.
Google Lies.
Huh.
Wie viel Uhr ist es?
Was? Bitte.
Wie viel Uhr ist es?
Feel.
What does feel mean?
Feel. I don't know. I'm a little confused.
Wie viel? It's a question.
But your German's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm really impressed with your German.
Yeah, you're saying the words very, very correctly.
Wie
I wish my
viel
daughter
Uhr
was
ist
here.
es?
You know, my daughter. So I have a fairly decent conversational German, but my daughter speaks fluent German, and the other one speaks pretty close to fluent German.
I'm impressed.
You
How
know.
did they learn that? School?
What is it?
That was what time is it?
See, I guess I speak a little bit different because I say what those in
Maybe this
instead of
is
or.
formal German. I don't
Okay,
know.
it could be.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's right.
This one will hit home. Es wird ein großer Tag.
What is my birthday?
No.
Well, grossa is big.
He's not-
What is my big dick day? There we go. What is my?
It's going to be a big.
What is going to
Wow,
be?
I'm
There it is.
actually
There it is.
really impressed
I
that
know,
he was able to
'cause
figure it out.
Ironically, in German, dick is big. Do you know that?
I did not.
That is.
Is that grosser?
That no, das ist
Es wird ein großer Tag.
oh yeah, grossa. That's right. Grossa is big. I'm sorry.
Wait, so that
In
That
Tag
means
is day.
means dick.
Big dick day. Yeah.
so
Tag.
that the word for big means or means
Gross.
dick
Gross.
too.
Dick is also yes. Dick is also like fat. Like if you were saying someone who's fat, it would be dick.
Dick's
But
also fat.
Yes, fat dick.
All right, good to know.
All right.
There's another one, but it's not going to top that, so we can move right along.
Okay.
My turn.
Okay.
Okay. So, as a financial dude,
Yes.
I pulled some words, but I don't know what they mean, and I would like to see. Oh yeah, let's go.
Oh no.
I would like
okay.
to see if you know what any of these mean. I think they may be easy,
Okay.
but who knows? All right. Debt settlement.
Debt settlement.
Yeah.
That would be, in what sense though? Okay, so I mean, debt settlement, I think it's kind of self-explanatory where if you have an issue and there's a number that's reached, it's agreed by both parties and it's over.
Boom.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Okay, cool.
Ding ding.
This is one that I would really like to know about because I'm trying to figure out in my life at this current point in time. What's escrow?
Escrow is money that is put on the side and kind of held. It's not typically to be used to invest it or anything like that. It's put aside in case that something would go wrong, almost like an insurance.
Hmm.
Like they'll hold money in a certain place until the party can do it. It doesn't really belong to anyone. It kind of sits in the middle, like in limbo.
So like hypothetical, let's say I'm buying a house and they're taking like 5 months of insurance payments, 5 months of property tax payments, putting it in escrow. Do I ever see that money again?
No, what'll happen is you'll pay for your stuff, and it'll kind of be paid off rather than you having to make payments towards it. It's sitting in escrow. Like if someone was getting a divorce, and there was, a property that was being fought over by the two sides, they might take that property and put it in escrow and kind of hold it until the settlement is made.
Okay. I may have more questions for that, but we'll come back. All right, so I know there's secure and unsecured debt. So what's unsecured debt?
Unsecured debt has nothing against it. Like think of your house. Like your house, when you go and get a mortgage, it's basically secured debt because there's something there if something were to go wrong. An unsecured debt could be, if you're just you're starting off right now and you decide you're quitting, you're going to take and start your own business, and you find someone that's going to loan you $100,000 to do it. Well, you don't have a business if you're not putting your house against it, if you're not putting anything against it, it's really unsecured.
All right, we got 2 more. Money market account.
A money market account is technically money that's put into the market, but for real, it's basically a glorified savings account. You'll get a very small return on your money, but you have a very small chance also of losing any money. You can, but there have been times they can't. As a financial advisor, you can't say you won't lose any, even though don't quote me on this, but you won't. It's because there have been times when it's went down and dipped down in 2008. I think it dipped down to 99.98 cents on the dollar or something. So technically you lost money, but you really don't. That's what it is. It's a good place. It's a good place to keep money that you're going to be putting aside for maybe a house or something like a short-term investment, 1 to 3 years.
And I don't know how to say the last one. Amortization. Is that how you say it? My handwriting is terrible, so good luck. Amortization. Wow, I can't say. I'm glad I'm not.
Amortization. Yeah. I don't understand that very well.
I looked it up and it used the word in the definition.
I hate that.
But from what I understand, it's debt that can be gradually written off.
Yeah, okay. So something like that is more of an accounting type of word, and I don't mean I should know it. Maybe I should, but for real, I met with actually an accounting firm this morning. It was the new people that are coming in the building, and they came by and I met with them, and it's amazing how what different worlds financial planners and accountants are. I mean, really, they really need each other, but it doesn't cross over to it. It's interesting. So.
Yeah, I know the bare bones with money to get by, but I'm slowly learning that I didn't know as much as I thought I did.
That's cool. So I think I backed into most of those.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Very, very impressive snaps.
90% right there.
All right.
90%. Well, at this point, we've sat together, we've drank together, we've eaten together. So, plug your business for anyone who needs financial needs.
So, fish for advice. Come and see me. I love to meet people. If you see it, you can. I got my Instagram up and running now.
Up and rubbing. Sorry.
I got my Instagram up and running now. I think it's fishloaf or hashtag fishloaf or however you do. But as far as my business goes, I mean, I really, I just want to work with young people. I want people to come in. I want people to pay attention to what they're doing a little bit. We can get them protected if they need to be protected, and we can get them to start taking care of some of their debt and start putting a little bit away. It can be done together, and I appreciate you guys having me. I feel honored that you had me for
the
your
first guest.
First person. I feel very, very honored. The food was good, the wine was good, and the conversation was good. So I'll cheers you guys.
Cheers.
Awesome.
For anyone else who wants to be interested or wants to be featured on, we're interested. We actually have a thing for you to fill out if you want to be on. If you don't want to be on, you just want to.
Whiz&Wine.com.
Is that what it is? I don't know.
Whiz&Wine.com.
Otherwise, we are on social media at We Speak Social. So,
Follow,
Godspeed.
subscribe.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. And cut.